Alright, what is going on, everyone? First and foremost, I want to say thank you for being here right now, watching this video. I do really appreciate you for your time, and I'd really appreciate if you do consider subscribing, because it truly does help me out a lot. Now, we got the final hours of PopSmoke, 16.5 hours to be exact. His very last moments, everything he did, and things like that. And I'm pretty sure people still remember him. And yeah, man, he was a good rapper, a lot of potential. He was very young too, and he accidentally posted his address when he was posting his purchase of Dior. I don't know what it was. I think it was Dior or Gucci, something like that, man. But he slipped up, made a big mistake, and costed him his life. So, without further ado, man, let's just play the video.
At about 4:30 a.m., PopSmoke was shot and killed inside of his Airbnb. He wasn't alone, but at the time of the robbery, he was inside the shower. 4 teenagers would storm the house that night before the youngest, a 15-year-old, would fatally shoot him. PopSmoke was just 20 years old at the time. He was officially...
Hold on, what? Hold on.
15-year-old would fatally shoot him. PopSmoke...
Bro, 15?
Shot and killed inside of his Airbnb. He wasn't alone, but at the time of the robbery, he was inside the shower. 4 teenagers would storm the house that night before the youngest, a 15-year-old, would fatally shoot him.
Bro, 15, bro. I'm sorry to pause the video so soon, but I didn't even know 15. And the crazy thing is, it's always the young ones, bro, just automatically ready to throw their lives away at a very young age to, risk their own life to take another human being's hard work. You get what I mean? Just because a person was willing to put the work in and actually chase their dream to reach somewhere, and you didn't, you're just gonna take the opportunity to just, oh, he's famous, he's rich, I'm gonna rob him and kill him. Like, bro, maybe it wasn't their intention to kill him, but like, man, what do you expect? You're trying to take someone's stuff in their own home, and you don't expect them to defend themselves. And man, you guys were lucky, man. If PopSmoke wasn't in the shower, he definitely could have grabbed his strap or defended himself quite easily. But they caught him off guard, man, and it's tough, man, because if it was any other situation, PopSmoke could have easily defended himself, and he wouldn't even be in jail. It would just be self-defense, bro. You broke into someone's home trying to rob them, man. And you're 15, 4 teenagers, and the youngest one was 15, who killed PopSmoke, man. That's honestly so sad, bro. So sad. Ready to throw your life away all for nothing, man. Man, you gotta have some sort of ambition, bro, in your life. You can't just be ready to take another person's, to just take what another person worked for. You get what I mean? Man, chase your own dreams. Don't try to take someone else's. But let's keep going.
PopSmoke was just 20 years old at the time. He was officially pronounced dead at 5:12 that morning, but it would end up taking months to fully solve this case. TMZ reported his death at 1:24 p.m. on February 19th. If we look back at his last post on Instagram, we can see exactly how his day played out.
Let's see what you got in. They better be PopSmoke. Don't fuck around.
It all started with this post around 11 a.m. on February 18th, just 16 hours before his death. He landed in California and drove to his Airbnb in Beverly Hills, where he posted it on his story, showing off the backyard. He was gonna be...
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Bro made it out the hood, made it rapping, living the dream life, and he's just posting his life, man. He's happy, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that, bro. But you gotta understand, he made a slip up by accident. and ended up accidentally posting his address on something that he purchased, and that ended up costing his life, man. And that's just tough. But let's keep going.
Be in Los Angeles for a 4-day vacation. With him was his longtime friend Mike D, and after the two got comfortable, he updated his story with the next post of him getting his hair cut. This was followed with a picture of him relaxing by the pool before getting ready to go shopping that evening. In the top left, a tag showing Beverly Hills. So far, the day was playing out normal, and nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary. However, the very next post would change the events of that night. That post actually comes from Mike D. Around 4 p.m., a series of pictures were uploaded on both their accounts. On PopSmoke's Instagram showed 3 back-to-back pictures of him and Mike together, with Mike holding a stack of cash. On Mike's page was another photo, and nothing seemed wrong with it at first, but this picture had 2 fatal problems. The picture was of PopSmoke and Mike, with him holding the same stack of money, but in the top left corner the entire home address is almost visible, with only the first number missing. If someone were to be looking for PopSmoke, all they had to do was find the first number between 1 and 9. But the worst mistake would come after Mike geotagged the post, showing the location on Instagram Maps. This was something they simply couldn't afford to do. An average person can get away with this, but for a high-profile rapper holding wads of cash, this was unacceptable. Despite these posts, the afternoon would carry on seemingly normal, but a few keen eyes had already begun connecting the dots. At 5 p.m., another update to PopSmoke's story would be added. This one showed him driving once again with the same stack of cash and a diamond-studded Rolex on his wrist. Now there was a location and a motive, and for them, that was enough. For a few hours, PopSmoke didn't update any posts, but we know he was out shopping. Shortly after taking the photos in the driveway, Mike and Pop got into the white Range Rover and drove from the Airbnb down Santa Monica Boulevard before stopping at the Amiri store. PopSmoke was getting ready for his Meet the Woo tour starting in March and was taking his last week on vacation. His Meet the Woo 2 tape had just dropped weeks prior, and he was still celebrating its success, so it was only normal for him to go shopping and reward himself. After all, he was in Beverly Hills, a place known for its luxurious shopping. Just 7 hours before his death at 10 p.m., he returned back to the Airbnb and updated his story again, this time with a view of the city at night from the backyard. But his stay was short. He still wanted to record new music that night. At 11 p.m., PopSmoke would upload a seemingly harmless video, showing some of the shopping he had done earlier that day. Unfortunately, this post would be the third and final mistake. The 3 Amiri bags shown in the video would leak sensitive information. The tags on them revealed the Airbnb's full address, and now he was completely vulnerable. A talent manager at his label spotted the error and asked him to take the post down. But what PopSmoke didn't know was that 2 teenagers had already been keeping an eye on his stories. The 2 men who were taking notice were...
And I'm not gonna lie, pretty sure that was a delivery too. You get what I mean? It's not like he went out and... I don't think he went out and actually went shopping just for the bags. Came home with it. You get what I mean? Because there's no reason for a tag to be on there with your full address on it. You get what I mean? That they only put a tag with your full address if you get it delivered. So it's like he got it delivered, and it's like they put a seal on it so the person making the delivery actually knows, okay, this is the address, bro. And man, that's tough.
Were from the well-known Hoover gang in LA. They took note that PopSmoke was close by, only about 20 minutes away. Their cell phone records show that around midnight they began looking at the address on maps and scouting out the location. They decided they would make a move that night. At 1 a.m., Pop and Mike left to record at East West Studios near Sunset Boulevard, just a few miles away. While he was working on new music, the 2 teens were working on their plan. According to the Los Angeles Times, at 2 a.m., a black BMW would show up on surveillance outside the home. The car rolled past the house and circled back before stopping. It showed a passenger getting out and sneaking toward the back of the house before quickly returning to the car. At the time, too many people were in the home, and Pop wasn't even there. The car then sped off, heading back to where they came from, where they recruited 2 more teens to help in the robbery. The hills were only about 20 minutes away from South LA, so they all decided to switch cars and try returning later. Around 3 a.m., Pop left East West Studios. He got in the Range Rover with Mike and a woman he met that night named Amelia Rose. They would then drive back, unknowing of the events about to take place. Pop and Amelia went upstairs to the master bedroom and Mike to a room down the hall. Around the same time, the 4 teens had already swapped cars to an Infiniti sedan and began looking up the address on Zillow. Through pictures, they now had a better understanding of the home's layout and the location of the master bedroom Pop would most likely be staying in. Pop, who was now in bed with Amelia, got ready to end his night with a shower. His last activity on social media were these Twitter...
Bro was trying to smash something, then hop right in the shower, then straight up just go to bed, man. And they caught him, bro, like...
replies to a few fans. About 20 minutes passed and the Infiniti would pull up, lights off. They snuck through the backyard and climbed up the balcony to the second floor. Amelia was the first one to notice the movement outside, but before she could react, the house was stormed by 3 men with masks and guns out. They put a gun to her head and advised her to stay quiet, taking her phone and purse while the other 2 went into the bathroom to confront PopSmoke. They told Pop to take off his watch and hand it over, to which he did. But then Pop lunged at the gunman and attempted to fight back when he was shot in the chest by a 15-year-old. Amelia screamed as Pop hit the floor and the 2 men kicked him repeatedly. In a final attempt to escape, Pop got up and ran toward the stairs where he was shot 2 more times in the back. The 3 men then stormed out of the house. Mike was woken up by gunshots ringing through the halls, to which he found Pop at the bottom of the stairs and immediately called 911.
Hello? Hello? I'm gonna tell him to wait for LAPD. Alright.
Medical arrived 20 minutes later and took him to Cedars-Sinai, where he passed away just 1 hour later. At the same time of his passing, his killers were already searching up the local news to see if they had reported it yet. They even looked up the price of Pop's stolen Rolex, the only item they made it out the house with. In total, they got just $2,000 for it, split between 4 people. Despite having cell phone and internet records, authorities didn't have hard evidence to make arrests for almost 3 months. It wasn't until the 15-year-old was arrested for an unrelated crime, but because police already had their eyes on him as a person of interest, they rigged his jail cell with recording devices. Eventually, he told his cellmate he'd taken part in robbing PopSmoke and that he pulled the trigger killing the rapper. The driver of the vehicle was arrested as well and eventually told his cellmate the same details of that night, confirming the story, initially having no intentions of shooting him, but when Pop put up a fight, they panicked and shot him. Corey Walker was the 19-year-old who stayed in the car that night, and Keandre Rogers was the 18-year-old who led the charge into the house. They were both charged with murder with special circumstances and will remain in prison indefinitely. The 17 and 15-year-old were charged as juveniles for murder and robbery, and they remain unnamed to this day due to being minors. PopSmoke was tragically taken too soon before he had the chance to grow to become the face of the drill movement. The tragedy of PopSmoke's death lies in the fact that we can see his last day with us through his...
That's so sad, man. And they said they only ended up shooting him simply because he tried to defend himself, bro. What do you expect, man? You don't expect a man to defend himself in his own home. You imagine you're in the shower, bro. You get what I mean? And you open the curtains, bro, or someone even opened the curtains, and you see 2 men in your house just standing there trying to rob you, bro, in your own home. You're not gonna try to fight back? That doesn't make sense at all, bro. Especially coming from a hood rapper, bro. PopSmoke does not play about that stuff. You get what I mean? I bet if he had this strap on him, anybody would blast, bro. You get what I mean? But yeah, man, sadly, they caught him extremely off guard. It's not like he was asleep, nothing, bro. He was in the shower. Nothing on him at all except what God gave him, his hands, his feet, and he tried to use his hands and things to fight back, and they had a gun, and we all know the streets don't play fair, so they shot him. So yeah, man, all for defending himself. And pretty sure all they got from that was a Rolex or something, only worth $2,000. So even if it's probably worth more than that, but you get what I mean. They probably pawned it to somewhere cheap or something, to a guy who's just willing, hey, I'm only give you $2,000 simply because, bro, this is PopSmoke's. The cops can easily link us to this murder if they know we have this watch, kind of thing. Bro, you get what I mean? So yeah, man, and 2,000 all split, so that's nothing, bro, all for a murder. And they didn't catch him. They didn't catch these guys until a few months, but they still did a pretty good job overall. It's not like they never caught him. So yeah, man, justice is served, but very, very sad situation. And hopefully other rappers learn from this situation, man. You get what I mean? Guy was just trying to live his life, got out the hood, trying to live his best life, and post on his Instagram story. Nothing wrong with that, but he had a few slip-ups, man, and that costed his life. So very, very sad situation. He was very young too, so man, that sucks. But without further ado, let me know what you guys think, and subscribe for more content, man. Peace out.